Hi water signs, this is going to be your general mini cross reading for January, let me slide in, okay, January 2022. Do keep in mind that the messages will not resonate with everyone. That's why it's a general reading. So I suggest that you go back and you look at the elemental moon and rising sign, whatever your moon and rising sign is. And also make sure that you check on the sun, moon, and rising signs of the people that you're involved with in your life. I'm going to talk to you about my website here for a second because the information that I'm going to give you before I do the reading ties into that. You are free to get a reading at any time. You don't have to wait for me to post a reading. You can read about any subject anytime. And in order to get to my website, you simply go to the little eye that's going to show up there. Click on it. It'll take you over to the website. When you get there, look for tarot consultations on the main menu, and it talks about methods of delivery. And then I have several different reading packages. But also, if you are not yet a member, consider joining. I have 3 levels of membership. The first level is 30 days for $7. And when you join, even at the $7 level, you get access to all of the other videos that are on the website, all of the articles, and you also receive a free natal chart. The second level is 6 months at $28, and this is recurring. The $7 one is not recurring. So after your 30 days is over, if you don't want to do no more, you ain't got to. The 6 months is recurring for $28. Again, you get access to all of the articles, the other video content, but you receive a free natal chart and a natal report, as does the same for the $50 one-year membership. Same access, okay? The $50 is also recurring. So what happens when you have a recurring membership is that it will automatically renew either after 6 months or a year. If you don't want to renew, you need to go in, sign in, log in, and go to your accounts page and find subscriptions there. Click on that subscriptions and it'll show you what's active. You can cancel it. Don't wait until after it's expired and then you're charged again, and then you're emailing me and you're like, oh, well, I wasn't ready. You can cancel it yourself. But you also have the ability to pause your subscription. So say, for instance, if you're busy or you're traveling, I had one client that travels a lot, and so sometimes she will pause her membership. And what that does is it'll stop it. It will change the payment date, right, because it's on pause. But you can also pause it, and then when you're ready to come back, you can come back and unpause it, okay? Typically, the website will send you out a notification letting you know when your membership's about to expire. That may be going to some of your spam folders. But also, I say if you join, make a note of how long your subscription is for on your calendar, and give yourself a reminder so that if you want to cancel it, you can do so before you're billed again. The reason why I'm telling you about the website, I never plug my website, but the reason why I'm telling you about it is because we have a lot of astrology going on from now to the end of January. There's always astrology going on, but there's a lot going on now. And it started back on December 19th when Venus went retrograde, and she went retrograde in the sign of Capricorn. Not only is she retrograde, but right now she is conjunct Pluto at 25 degrees Capricorn. We are in the pre-shadow phase of the Mercury retrograde. And let me explain. When planets go into retrograde, it doesn't matter what planet it is, whether it's Pluto or whether it's Mercury, there's a rhythm that it follows. So 2 weeks before the planet retrogrades is called the pre-shadow phase. Then you have the actual phase of retrograde, right? And then you have the post-shadow, which is 2 weeks after the planet goes direct. So we're in the pre-shadow phase of Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrogrades in the sign of Aquarius on January 14th. He will then travel all the way back into Capricorn. So we have Venus in Capricorn, Pluto in Capricorn, and now Mercury's going to be there. But then on January 2nd, we will have a new moon in Capricorn. So we've got the moon, Mercury, Venus, and Pluto all in Capricorn. Pay attention whenever you see a mashup of planets in one sign. That's known as a stellium. And I have articles on the website, so that's why I'm talking to you about joining the website. There are lots of articles on here so that when you hear me talk about things, you can read up on it and have a little bit of knowledge about what I'm speaking about. So there's a stellium in Capricorn. But then on January 17th, we have a full moon in Cancer. And I think that is important as well, because Cancer and Capricorn are opposite each other on the wheel. That's known as an axis. A-X-E-S. Let me show you. Here on my reading cloth. This is the wheel. Okay? And so here we have Capricorn and Cancer. This is an axis. Here you have Aries and Libra. That is an axis. Here you have Taurus and Scorpio. That is an axis. So the signs are always opposite each other, and they're known as the axes. So there's articles there on the axes, and they kind of tell you what each axis means. The first house and the seventh house. What that self versus partnerships, okay? Capricorn and Cancer is going to be work versus home. And so that mashup that I'm telling you about, that stellium in the sign of Capricorn, is really going to be all about your work, your career, your ambition, and your status versus what's happening at home. So that's why I'm bringing you these dates. So the full moon in Cancer on January 17th. And I think not only that it's on an axis with Capricorn, but the very, very next day, the nodes will change signs. I have articles on the website that talk to you about the nodes, so you know what they are, how to look at them, all right, what they mean when they are across the axes. So nodes stay in one axis sign for 18 months. So for the past 18 months, we've had North Node in Gemini versus South Node in Sagittarius. But on January 18th, they will change signs to North Node in Taurus to South Node in Scorpio. So North Node in Taurus is all about the money that you own, earn, or owe. So this is going to be about your stocks, your bonds, your bank account, charities, your mortgages, your car, your clothes, your jewelry. It's also going to be about your values and your value systems. That South Node in Scorpio is going to be about the monies that you have in conjunction with other people. But there's always a sexual component to the money in Scorpio. And what I mean by that, it could be things like alimony, child support, inheritances, lotto payouts, or insurance payouts, or mortgages that you have with your spouse or your partner. So that's the sexual component. So we've got nodal energy happening across that axis of personal finances with finances that you have with other people. So this is important. Also, finally, I should say, there are going to be 2 new moons in the month of January. The first new moon is going to be in Capricorn on the, let me repeat that, on the January 2nd. But the second one is going to come January 31st, and this will be a new moon in Aquarius. So that's why I was telling you about the website. I have an article. If you log in, if you're a member, if you join, when you log in, go to read the blog on the main and look for the retrograde series. I have a series of articles on all of the planets when they go retrograde, what happens when they go retrograde, in what sign, how you can kind of, some tips and tricks to kind of work your way through that. But there's also a second half of each planet in retrograde, where what happens when it comes direct and what you can expect. So that's a good article. I have one on the astrological axes. I have one on the nodes. So or when you find Venus in Capricorn, what that's all about. So there are lots of good articles. I have a series of articles called Introduction to the Planets, and explains to you about the planets, what they mean, what happens when they go through particular signs, and what that means. And so there's a lot of information on the website, so that when I'm doing readings, you hear me speak of terms, then you kind of have an understanding of what it is that I'm talking about, okay? So with that being said, I have with me today the Radiant White deck. We have Levita Sibila for clarification, and you'll get an opportunity to read the pull a card, ask a question to the Golden Nostradamus. The individual readings for January 2022 are already completed. They will be posted up on the 31st. So you'll get an opportunity to go in and see those if you are a website member. And I do, for those of you who don't want to join for that, I have a thing where you can just join and you get 48-hour access to, it might be 72, I don't know, but you can pay like $2 or $3 and you can watch the videos, the individual videos for 2 to 3 days. You can take notes, whatever it is that you want to do, okay? Now, so I'm trying to make it easy for you guys to access the information. That's what I'm trying to do. Now, that is not a membership, and you don't get a chart or anything like that with the 2 or 3 day access pass, okay? Now, I will tell you that the individual readings all had a theme of relationships, whether this was romantic, familial, business, friendships, and even self-relationships. And that's always important because Venus is the planet of relationships, okay? She's not just about love and beauty. She's about relationships and right relationships. And so all of the readings had that kind of theme running through them. And I think they're really, really important. There was a bunch of people on Twitter the other day talking about how scary the Venus-Pluto conjunction is. I don't think there's any aspect that's scary. I think there are some that might be a bit more difficult than others. But when you inform yourself and you know what to expect, you can demystify it and take the fear and anxiety out of it, right? All right, so here we go. This is a reading from, we're going to start back on Christmas Day, so December 25th. Today's the 28th, and I'm recording this, and we're going to try to look at the energy all the way through to the end of January, all right? But again, there's no timing in the tarot. So, what is the energy at the heart of this for you? 7 of Swords, water signs. What is the energy of the foundation of this situation? The 8 of Cups. You know, this card has come out, it came out in the earth, and it also came out in the air. And I think this is important because I think it references the month of November. And the reason why is this is an eclipsed moon. It's the only eclipsed moon in the tarot deck. And we had a series of eclipses in November, a lunar and a solar eclipse. But January, we're going to start up with the new eclipse season, okay? As well as retrograde season. So, there's that. What is the energy of the near or distant past? The Ace of Coins. What is the energy of the unknown factor coming in? The Page of Pentacles. And what is the energy of the near or distant future? The High Priestess. Wow. Some information has come to you. And I think that the information is suspect. The 7 of Swords. What is the energy over the entire reading or situation? It is the 8 of Wands. Something happening quite rapidly. Okay. Now, I have 2 pentacles, a sword, and a cup in the reading itself. So this is either about finances or the doing of something. Thoughts, perceptions, ideas, beliefs, communications with the swords, and the emotional quotient behind it. How do you feel? Okay. Okay. The 8 of Wands, 8s are good energy. Okay. They usually tell you that things are about to move. All right. They're a number of karma, and they're rather positive. So if a situation has been stagnant or slow or whatever the case may be, 8s tell you that things are about to move. Now, the 8 of Wands is traditionally a card that simply says fast-moving events, right? We don't know exactly where those wands are coming from, and we don't know exactly what they're aimed at, okay? So this card, when it shows up, says that something's about to happen, and it's going to happen real quickly, and all you can do is just kind of hang on until. Sometimes it will speak about travel. If it is about travel, it will be travel in connection with business. Sometimes this card is known as the arrows of love, meaning that you can get a message from a potential suitor or lover, or from someone that has that potential or opportunity, okay? But basically, it just means fast-moving events. Now, sometimes an 8 can mean that, well, it's kind of twofold. As I said, if the situation has been stagnant, then the 8 say, boom, it's going to be moving. In the center, I have the 7 of Swords. Now, traditionally, the 7 of Swords is looked at as the card of lying and deception and spying and like that, and thievery, okay? That's traditionally how it has been interpreted. But I have seen it show up when it speaks to a house move, okay? I have also seen it show up when it speaks about rushing around. You know, things aren't working out the way you want them to because you're too busy rushing around. You're not focused. You're not concentrating, or you're trying not to deal with whatever the situation is. You're trying to escape the situation. But I do get the sense that this is this idea that there's a conflict here. Why? Because he's got the 5 swords. Now, I don't know if this is a conflict between you and another person, or if it's you within yourself, thoughts, beliefs, perceptions, ideas. But these 2 swords here tell me that there's something not quite right? And you're trying to trust your intuition on the situation. That's what this card says. For some of you, this may have simply been an opportunity. Some finances have come in, have given you the opportunity to actually move. But this 8 of Cups, and the reason why I say that is this down here. Pages always represent news. Okay, so if this is not financial news, and this is the news about doing something new, about starting out on something, some new kind of venture or project or study or something of that nature. But this 8 of Cups, I think, is really key because it's the idea that whatever this thing is in the past, it no longer serves a purpose for you. So whether this is moving and leaving behind old friends, or maybe even having to sell some of your furniture to get to move, right? Things that you're attached to. It literally talks about going on another journey, leaving to find something more because something is missing from your life. Now, aces are always opportunities, okay? Aces are yes cards, but they simply mean that the power is and the energies are around you for you to take advantage of opportunities. So this could be a promotion, it could be a finance, it can even be a letter coming to you to say, you know what, it's something to do with your finances, or a new venture, job project, or venture, some type of financial project coming in. But coins are not just about finances, they are about the doing of something. It represents the physicality, the third dimensional plane. So for some of you, this might be an opportunity to take a different path, or take a different path, or to do something differently that's going to lead you to a new path, okay? If it were, what bothers me is the energy coming off of this 7 of Swords. And for those of you who are new to my channel, I don't read cards, I read energies, okay? So the 7 of Swords here is really the energy of either someone not being truthful, or somebody. Sometimes I've seen this card show up when you accept behavior from people because you hope the means are going to justify the ends, right? You kind of just put up with their behavior for whatever reason. But it really, really reads to me like there's some kind of theft or grift, some kind of shenanigans going on behind the scenes. Sometimes the High Priestess card will say that the answer has not yet been revealed. As a person, she will be someone who is highly intuitive, extremely intelligent, sees a lot, knows a lot, but may not say a lot, okay? It's very observant. So whenever this card shows up, what I usually counsel people to do when the High Priestess is to pay attention. You don't always have to act on something. You don't always have to say anything. You don't always have to do anything, but to pay attention, because something here in this situation I don't think is right, okay? So I can't look at this because traditionally they represent people, even though for me it always just represents some kind of news or message. But this is a tentative message. It's actually the same ace that he's holding. So it's come from the ace all the way through to the 10, and the message has finally arrived, okay? So that's a low level message. If it were the Knight of Coins, then it would be a larger message, a more influential message, okay? But traditionally, because it's a person, I can't look at that card. So what does that leave me? It leaves me the Ace of Pentacles, the Seven of Swords, and the Eight of Cups, and even the Eight of Wands as it relates to the High Priestess. There are additional messages. My book. Additional messages here. So I'm going to start with the Seven of Swords to see if I can glean anything extra. I may have to just go to the Sibyllus to figure out what that is. But the feeling really is that something is not right. The Seven of Swords doesn't tell me anything. But as an indication, sometimes this card will even show up to say that something you thought lost will be returned to you. This may include the rekindling of friendships and old ties. I don't know. Okay. It speaks about the possibility of tension, arguments, and disagreements and misunderstandings. That's at 5 swords there that I was talking about. Okay. It may also imply that someone is spying or delving into issues that are not their business. Could be that. It is warning you to be upfront and straight in all of your dealings, else you will be caught out, and this will have a detrimental effect on all levels. But it can also be implying that you are inclined to take flight from a situation rather than face up to and then take the appropriate responsibility and action to find a solution. And then sometimes this card will show up that tells of a surprise and an unexpected opportunity. But there may be some sadness associated with that. But this card doesn't tell me anything next to the High Priestess. So we'll move to the Eight of Cups now. Now, I could say there are 2 eights in this reading, in which case 2 eights will speak to a slight concern in regards to a new relationship, romance, or partnership. But also 2 eights can say you will receive news that's going to affect the relationship. Now, I have seen this card sometimes show up when there's another female that you don't know anything about. Okay. So, 8 of Cups is where I was. Nothing about the 8 of Cups. Except it says, it indicates that a decision has been made to move on and leave the past behind. You may have been caught up in events or were or are involved in a situation that may have been complicated and costly. But you may cut ties with this event and will not give them a thought once they are in the past. So something's about to change. That's all it says. Ace of Pentacles. Let's see if the Ace has anything to tell us. Nothing about the Ace. Now, the Ace can sometimes indicate of Pentacles a foretelling that fate might hand you a financial gain and implies that much needed funds will come in at the most appropriate time. You will find that everything is turning out well in your material world at the moment. It may be foretelling of a success and material gain and can indicate prosperity combined with pleasure and beauty. More importantly, it tells you to expect an important document, letter, or fax in the coming days, as this will form the basis of a new prosperous beginning. An award, degree, diploma, accolade, certificate, letter, or important legal document is on its way into your life, and its contents will please you. This may have been something you have been waiting on. She's the keeper of the keys to the library, so this could be somebody who is a scientist, someone who's going to school, just kind of minds her business and does her thing. Okay, a researcher. That's always the way I see her. I've seen this card show up sometimes when there might be somebody who's on the autism spectrum as well. Okay, that's all it says. Now, the 8 of Wands, I just want to see if the 8 has anything extra to tell us. It does not. except that it says it is asking you to take control and balance your budget. It also says if you are waiting for a reply to a letter or phone call or even an email, you will not have to wait much longer. And the response could even contain the promise of new love. If a situation has been stagnant for some time, you will be surprised by a rapid progression towards conclusion. It can indicate lots of movement, be it traveling or even moving residence, and it indicates travel in connection with business. That's all it says. Now, I'm going to read to you the characteristics of the Page of Pentacles and then tell you what it means when he shows up in a reading. Hold on, I got to get to my... It indicates research and study. It tells of someone who will be delivering good news or some needed information. It may be telling of someone, meeting with someone who is empathetic to your point of view. This person is kind and generous and will offer assistance. It can be indicating that someone will give you good news that may change your life. Changes for the better are coming into your life, and these changes will be brought about by someone who genuinely cares about you. Financially, it can indicate a new hobby or interest that may develop into a profession or money-making venture in the future. It may be telling that there is much hard work to be done, which may require further study and research. Good news and information received soon. It may be telling of a golden opportunity which is to be seized upon. It also says that you will be rewarded for a period of study that required self-discipline and determination, and you should feel proud of your efforts and will feel greater confidence in your abilities. Okay? That's what happens when he shows up. As a person, it depicts a steady, dependable personality, someone that can always be relied on. Can often be an apprentice or a student. Most often someone dark-haired. Okay. It represents someone who is studious, professional, inclined, ambitious, and energetic, tenacious, practical, responsible, and patient. On the negative side, the person can be prone to melodrama, moodiness, argumentative, and subject to bouts of depression. He is a messenger who carries ideals of an earthly nature, which may form the basis of new capabilities to unfold. The beginnings are slow, vulnerable, and fragile, but they contain potential. This is what it says. Okay? So, again, there's something about this Seven of Swords. So I'm going to pull Sibila's on it to see exactly what it's telling me. Whether this really is some kind of sketchy situation, whether it's you not dealing with the situation, whether you want to move from home, right? As I said, I've seen that card show up when it's about a home move. Even though that's not what the imagery ever tells me about that particular card. I do also feel that this Eight of Cups, I'm going to say last month, that something came to a head last month, and it may have been based on some kind of lie or whatever. The desperate jealousy. There it is, the falsità. That's it. And the denari. Oh, with the theft. The card of theft, or the thief. So, what this is about, it's about jealousy. It is about envy. It is about people who can't figure their way out, or they don't have the spiritual or whatever resources they need to get anything done. And so they lie. This card heralds a lot of tears, anxiety, and worry. And it usually indicates that there is... Let me get back here and tell you. This could be somebody who has pretended to be somebody that they are not. What is the... I think the 9 or the 8 of Swords. There it is. It went from an 8 to a 9. It warns of a toxic environment and toxic people around you. Now, you may think that everything is okay, that the people you're around are nice and the environment's okay, but invariably this turns out to be false, revealing that these nice people have been deeply envious and have been scheming behind your back to cause you ruin. It indicates treachery, slander, gossip, and envy. It is another card that warns of danger, and a danger coming from your circle of acquaintances. And I think what's interesting is that in the background of this card, there's a whole group of people over there. Okay? I think that's what's quite interesting. In love, it indicates extreme jealousy, envy, possessiveness, and a selfish love centered around self-gratification. It comes with a heavy price to pay. And in any kind of relationship, no matter what it is, it indicates a lack of trust and a loss of self-respect. Financially, it leads to heavy losses that can very well lead people to suicide. It indicates heavy debt, insolvency, overspending, trouble with the law, and cutthroat work environments. It is a card that also warns that you are about to trust someone who will lead you to your ruin. Okay? Now, coupled with the falsità, these are two very, very negative cards. And there's definitely some kind of money involved in this or business deal. We see it there, the dinari. The falsità is the card of lies, false adulations, and compliments given with an ulterior motive. It represents people as it uncovers their true intentions toward you, which are never what they outwardly seem. It represents someone often very close, possibly a long-standing acquaintance or family member who is two-faced and plotting against you. It is a card that represents murky and thorny situations woven with a tight web of lies and deceit, and you are often unaware of the true state of affairs, as these people are skilled and know how to deceive you. It is also the card that represents someone who is taking advantage of your good trust and faith in them. Okay? Now, if this is you, remember that one warning, if you're not upfront and you're not dealing with people, it's going to come back to get you. Okay? It could indicate something done or received in an illegal way. Now, in terms of a group of people, this says this: you are living in a nest of vipers, full of people with ulterior motives, who are just near you to use you for their own selfish ends. It implies envy, self-interest, deceitfulness, flattery, servility, and empty compliments. Now, one of the rare interpretations can indicates a mistaken conclusion. In other words, that you have misjudged someone and you have not seen the situation for what it is. Okay? In love, it indicates infidelity, lies, and a partner with an ulterior motive. It precludes true love. Sometimes it will foretell of the devious third person whose aim is to break up a couple. Financially, it warns of false opportunities, fake money, deceitful colleagues, Ponzi schemes, fraud, contraband, and swindles. And it also warns that a situation is hiding a trap, that there is danger lurking in the background. Now, this definitely has some kind of, maybe this is the idea about you get a new offer to go work someplace. Well, be aware. There are going to be people there who are going to be out to get you. Now, I think what's interesting about the Dinari card is that it shows up in the suit of clubs. In the suit of cups, like hearts, right? Why? Because emotions are tied to people's money. And most fights can be over money. And remember I said there's been a conflict here. I said that, those 5 swords there. Maybe somebody stole something from you. Okay? Now, let me get to the Denati card. It is the Six of Cups. It does not have the same meaning as the other Six of Cups. It speaks to inheritances, abundance, good business investments, monetary gains, success, gamblings, winnings. And if you'll notice, this card can be about people who have addictions, be they gambling, drug, drinking, alcohol addictions. Somebody who may be hiding it and they're after your money or something. It says, oddly, this card is found in the suit of hearts and not that of diamonds, which represents material affairs, because money is seen as being deeply connected to one's feelings and emotions. It is not a coincidence that many arguments between families involve money. Now, another main meaning of this is can be derived from the presence of old books and documents, and it can represent the past. But it also says that in love, it indicates an ulterior motive of financial interest behind the reason for getting married or having married or for being with someone. So it can indicate a loveless marriage relationship, or it could be an indication that one of the partners is a gold digger with insincere feelings and in the relationship for a secondary gain. What this is telling me is that there is something seriously wrong in this situation. Now, what does the High Priestess have to do with it? I can't really say. But I would caution you to watch. You don't have to react. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to do anything. Trust what your intuition is telling you about this. And I think within, I'm going to say, the next 8 days, depending on where you are in this situation, you may see some movement on this. You may see something that's going to allow you to make a decision. That's what I'm trying to say. It is a 2. A decision definitely has to be made here. Now, formulate your question for the Golden Nostradamus. Definitely there's a financial component to this. Okay? Possibility of theft, for sure. And remember, as I always say, people don't always have to steal money and valuable objects from you. They can steal your peace of mind, your self-respect. So be cautious. Here's your card. Well, it is the Luck card. And sometimes you got to go through bad things with bad people so that you can see the truth of the situation. Is that not so? Happy is he who observes and learns from the follies of others at every turn. This is a very lucky card and bearer of great energies, loves, or winnings from gaming or profitable actions in life. Now, it says that it cancels the negative meaning of all cards next to it and reinforces the positive meaning. That would be if I was actually doing a spread with the Golden Nostradamus, but I'm not. So I feel that what this card is telling you is that observe and learn. Because somebody's making a mistake. And if you're observant, you're going to be able to see that. If you are picking up on it, you should be able to see it. Does it mean that you can prevent them from stealing from you? Maybe not. But the bright side of that is you can walk away from that situation knowing exactly where you stand and where the other person stands. Okay? So, that's what I have for you for January 2022, water signs. I do hope those messages help. Again, if you're interested in a reading or you want to go over and join the website, simply click on the little eye over here. That'll take you right over. Until next time, be well, be safe, and namaste.